people think silence is empty. It isn't. Silence is heavy. It has weight. It presses against your eardrums until you start hearing the blood rushing through your own veins just to fill the void. I took the job at the Blackwood Peak Fire Lookout for the money, sure, but mostly because I was sick of the noise. I was tired of the city, tired of customer service, tired of the endless drone of people. I wanted to be alone. I wanted to sit in a glass box 6,000 feet above sea level and watch the trees for smoke. It sounded peaceful. God, I was an idiot. The hike up was grueling. My supervisor, a guy named Miller who looked like he'd been carved out of granite and beef jerky, didn't say much. He just hauled my supplies up the switchbacks, breathing easier than I was despite being 20 years older. When we got to the tower, a 60-foot structure jutting out of the rock like a sore thumb, he didn't linger. He showed me the propane stove, the Osborne fire finder, and the radio. Then, he pointed to a thick, black binder on the desk. It looked old. The spine was cracked, and the plastic cover was clouded with age. "Read the manual," Miller said, his eyes scanning the tree line nervously. "Standard operating procedures are in the front. Emergency protocols in the back. But the first page, that's the most important. Memorize it. Don't question it. Just do it." Before I could ask what he meant, he was halfway down the stairs. He didn't even say goodbye. I spent the first hour unpacking. It was a cozy setup, in a utilitarian sort of way. A cot, a stove, a chair, and 360 degrees of windows. The view was breathtaking. Miles of green firs rolling out like a carpet over the mountains, fading into blue haze in the distance. I made a pot of coffee, sat down, and opened the binder. The first page wasn't typed. It was handwritten on yellow legal pad paper, slipped into a plastic protector. The handwriting was jagged, frantic. It read, "Blackwood Peak Station Guidelines. Rule number 1, check in with dispatch at 8 o'clock and 1800 hours sharp. Do not use the radio outside these times unless you see smoke. Rule number 2, keep the trapdoor locked from dusk until dawn. Do not unlock it for anyone. Not even me. Not even a ranger. Rule number 3, if you smell ozone or burning copper, close your eyes and count to 10. Do not look out the west-facing window. Rule number 4, if you see a hiker standing at the base of the tower looking up at you, do not wave. Do not engage. Move to the center of the room and wait for them to leave. Rule number 5, the radio may receive transmissions at night. It might sound like static. It might sound like a woman crying. It might sound like your own voice. Do not answer." I chuckled. I actually laughed out loud. "Okay, Miller," I muttered. "Hazing the new guy. Very funny." I figured it was a tradition. Scary stories to keep the rookies on their toes. I closed the binder and watched the sun go down. That first sunset was spectacular. The sky turned a bruised purple, and the shadows stretched out like long, thin fingers across the forest floor. The first 3 nights were uneventful. Just the wind whistling through the catwalk grating and the occasional creak of the steel supports. I fell into a routine. Coffee. Scan. Book. Radio check. Sleep. The rules became a joke I told myself while I brushed my teeth. Then came the 4th night. I woke up around 2 a.m. I wasn't sure what woke me at first. The tower was swaying slightly in the wind, a gentle rocking motion that usually lulled me to sleep. Then I heard it. Click. The radio. It was sitting on the desk, the little green power light glowing in the dark. Click. HHSSSSSSSS. Static. But not the clean white noise of an empty channel. This was wet. Thick. It sounded like someone breathing through a mouthful of water. I sat up in my cot, my heart doing a slow, heavy thud against my ribs. I stared at the radio. Rule number 5, the radio may receive transmissions at night. Do not answer. Hello? A voice crackled. I froze. My blood turned to ice water. It wasn't a woman crying. It wasn't static. It was Miller. Hey, kid, Miller's voice said, clear as day, cutting through the speaker. You up? I left my keys up there. I'm at the base of the tower. I looked at the trapdoor in the floor. It was bolted shut. I looked out the windows. It was pitch black outside. No moon. Just the oppressive darkness of the wilderness. Miller? I whispered, before I could stop myself. Yeah, it's me, the radio replied instantly. Too instantly. There was no delay. Come on down and let me in. It's freezing out here. I swung my legs out of bed, reaching for my flashlight. But then I stopped. Miller had hiked down 4 days ago. The nearest town was a 20-mile trek. Even if he had hiked back up in the dark, which was suicide, why was he calling on the radio? Why not just yell up? I can't, Miller, I said, my hand hovering over the mic. I didn't press the button. I realized I hadn't pressed the button to talk. The radio wasn't transmitting. It was off. The voice coming from the speaker laughed. It wasn't a human laugh. It was a rhythmic, staccato sound. Ha. 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 Open the door, kid. The tone changed. It wasn't Miller anymore. It was deeper. Guttural. Open the door. Open the door. I scrambled back into my cot, pulling the sleeping bag up like a shield. I stared at the radio. The green light flickered and died. The power was cut. But the voice kept talking. Fine, it hissed. I'll come up. Clang. The sound of a boot hitting the metal stairs. Clang. Another step. My breath hitched in my throat. The stairs. Someone was walking up the 60-foot staircase. Slow. Deliberate. Heavy. Clang. 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 I grabbed the binder. I don't know why. Maybe I was looking for a rule I missed. A rule that said, if it climbs the stairs, do this. But there was nothing. Just the same 5 rules. I scrambled to the center of the room, just like Rule 4 said. I sat on the floor, clutching a heavy flashlight, my eyes fixed on the trapdoor. The footsteps stopped just under the floorboards. I was 60 feet in the air, in a glass box, and something was standing directly beneath me on the catwalk. Then came the smell. It hit me like a physical blow. Not ozone. Not copper. It smelled like old meat. Like something that had been dead in the sun for a week. It seeped up through the cracks in the floorboards, filling the small room, making me gag. Scratch. A fingernail. Dragging along the wood of the trapdoor. I can hear your heart, the voice whispered. It wasn't coming from the radio now. It was coming from right under my feet. It beat so fast. Like a rabbit. Then, the voice changed again. Please, it whimpered. Please let me in. I'm hurt. I fell. It was my voice. It was a perfect recording of my own voice. The pitch, the cadence, the slight tremble. It was me, begging for help on the other side of the door. I don't want to die out here, the mimic me sobbed. Open the door. I squeezed my eyes shut, pressing my hands over my ears. Go away, I whispered. Go away, go away, go away. The handle of the trapdoor jiggled. The heavy iron bolt rattled against the housing. It was testing the lock. For hours, it circled the catwalk. I could see its shadow blocking out the stars as it passed the windows. It was tall. Too tall. And thin. It moved with a jerky, disjointed rhythm, like a marionette with tangled strings. It tapped on the glass. Tap. 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 It whispered things I won't repeat. It told me about the fires it had seen. It told me about the loneliness. It told me about the previous lookouts. They always opened the door eventually, it whispered in my father's voice. I didn't sleep. I didn't move. I waited for the sun. When dawn finally broke, painting the sky in soft pinks and oranges, the presence vanished. The smell dissipated. The silence returned. I waited until noon before I unbolted the trapdoor. I packed my bag in 3 minutes. I left the coffee. I left the clothes. I took the binder. I ran down those stairs so fast I almost tripped and broke my neck. I didn't look back. I hiked the 20 miles to the trailhead without stopping for water. I'm sitting in a motel room in Bend right now. I've been trying to call the Forestry Service to quit, to tell them what happened. But the line is busy. Every time I call, I get a busy signal. But 5 minutes ago, the motel phone rang. The landline on the bedside table. I stared at it. I haven't told anyone where I am. I paid cash. I picked it up slowly. I didn't say anything. Hey, kid, Miller's voice crackled through the receiver. You left the door unlocked. I didn't leave it unlocked. I know I didn't. But as I look at the chain lock on the motel door, I see the handle start to turn. Don't take the job at Blackwood Peak. And if you hear your own voice calling for help in the dark, don't listen.